Hi everyone, my name is Maureen Green. I'm a licensed therapist, and this video today will cover the function of fear and related emotions, and also how to improve your relationship with fear and anxiety. Before we jump in, I want you to ask yourself, what is my relationship with fear? What do I tend to do when I feel nervous or afraid or anxious? And a natural response sometimes is I avoid, but there's more than just that response. Do I avoid? Do I exit situations that make me feel uncomfortable or worried or nervous? Do I attack? It's also another very natural, actually, wired response in us as human species is to fight when we're afraid. Do I get angry? Do I puff up? Do I make myself look bigger? All of those are, you can witness that in the animal kingdom and how animals respond to potential threats. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it? What is my relationship with fear? What are my tendencies? Do I tend to courageously face fear, or do I tend to do the things that I just mentioned? Once you have that established, I want to tell you a little bit about the primary function of fear. As every emotion has function and meaning, and we're programmed with all of these emotions for a reason, fear's purpose is to protect us from danger so we can survive as a species. Now, can you notice what part of your life you are avoiding danger? You're avoiding being attacked. You're avoiding being abused. You're avoiding being chased by a dog, or things that are physically and emotionally are dangerous. I would say that that's a smaller percentage than for all the things that we avoid that are not a direct threat to our physical body, our psyche, our emotional state. And so what do we do with those fears that have nothing to do with safety? So one more time, when fear is guiding us to avoid, run away from things that are dangerous for us, it's doing its job. It's serving its purpose. And when the situation is no longer dangerous, fear goes away, we resolve our state of terror, and we move on with our life. But what happens when fear doesn't have that same purpose, where there is nothing to protect us from? Now what? What do we do? Well, if you pay attention, you'll see that there's a couple of ways people respond and deal with fear. In my 16 years of practice, I've noticed that, and it's sometimes more men than women, but not necessarily. There's a good mix. A lot of people respond to fear with anger, and they think they have a primary problem with that is anger. Their family members say, "You're so angry, you need to calm down." But oftentimes it's not anger. Anger is a secondary emotion to fear. So that's one way we can identify that how fear is showing up ineffectively in your life. Another way, fear is kind of shrinks our world. If you've noticed that you are doing less and less, you are interacting less and less, you're allowing yourself to go places that much less than before. Those are all ways that fear shows up. And how about also letting yourself be truly seen? Putting yourself out there in ways that may end up in some criticism or backlash, or speaking up in meetings, or having your opinion be known in your relationship. Handling conflict. How many of us avoid conflict because of fear and anxiety? Those are all ways that our relationships suffer, our careers could suffer, and we really don't allow ourselves to fully be seen in our own lives. So, in order to change the relationship with fear, we have to take a look at what are we willing to face, and taking small steps towards that. Identifying your own blueprint with fear will help you understand the steps you need to take. And sometimes we just start small. If it's something a place that you're avoiding, knowing that the more I avoid this place, the more the fear will grow. It becomes this big bad monster I want to avoid. If I'm afraid of being alone and I keep avoiding that, I am not going to resolve that fear. With fear and just about any other emotion, what we have to remember is what we resist will persist. What we avoid grows. It's kind of like that mold in our soul. It just gets bigger and bigger over time. So the cure, essentially, the antidote to living a fearless life is to face things that make us uncomfortable and actually give it voice. You can even say it out loud. This is really uncomfortable. I'm really anxious about having this conversation. I really feel uncomfortable at making this comment, but I want to do it anyway. I want to face and live a courageous life and let myself be fully seen, in the words of Brene Brown. So if fear is threatening your life, if there is danger, avoid it by all means. Fight back, get out of the situation. But ask yourself, how much of that is really present in your life? And is the fear that you're avoiding really dangerous? Or is it really dangerous to live in fear for the rest of your life?